The latest Cities Skylines II patch has officially dropped, so let me take you through everything you need to know about it, and I'll be splitting this video into 5. I'm going to be talking about the asset pack, the editor and modding. Those two, by the way, I'm going to be summarizing because I've covered those in full and how they work in previous few videos. I'm also going to be talking about performance, improvements, and fixes. So this is patch 1.1.0 F1, and let's start with that asset pack for beach properties, which is obviously the paid DLC. If you have the Ultimate Edition, you will already have this for free because it came with that. So there's going to be the new North American waterfront zoning, which has 30 new buildings with 24 additional variants, and the new European waterfront zoning, which has the same 30 new buildings and 24 additional variants. It's got 4 new palm trees and 6 new signature buildings. You've also got the Deluxe Relax Station, again DLC, same applies to this, 60 new songs and new DJ content. Moving on to the editor and modding, they have added code modding support. They've added modding toolchain installation status, that's for creating code mods. They've added editor with support for map creation, so that's importing and exporting height map, import resource map, select climate, add or edit water sources, define map details like name and theme, and they've also added the Paradox mods integration for sharing of code mods, save games, and custom maps. As for performance, they've optimized various systems to reduce frame time spikes and overall simulation performance. They've optimized frame time while placing buildings. They've also optimized slightly some culling scenarios. They've optimized the UI rendering, especially widget system for photo mode and options, and they've reduced the overhead of rendering curves in UI. As for improvements, they have added extinguishing sound for firefighting helicopters. They've added automatic random rotation when placing single trees, bushes, and some props. They've updated bus stop, bus shelter, taxi stand, taxi shelter, and tram stop toolbar icons. They've improved the visibility of guidelines on snow. They've also improved the default cursor for better visibility on snow. They've also improved the land value system. So the service coverage of healthcare, education, police, and telecom now affects land value. The reachability of commercial services now affects land value, as well as stops and stations of public transportation, noise, water, air, and ground pollution, shorelines, and they all affect land value. They've also added a max limit to land value bonus factor and replaced the building land value info mode with land value source info mode in the land value info view. The rent too high warning notifications are now highlighted when land value info view is active, and they've also added a land value tooltip to a cursor which shows the monetary value of the land of the building where the building is located when the land value info view is active. What they've also done is the entire UI disappears permanently after I click on the line details of CO vehicles when CS1 bonus is not available. They've improved cinematic camera smoothing control. They've added achievement disable warning to the load game detail panel, and they've improved achievement warning banner text in the load game panel when unlimited money or unlock all was already selected. And finally, those all-important fixes. What have they fixed? Well, a crash to desktop when building with direct connection to pedestrian path levels up, a crash to desktop soon after loading a save if the save was created shortly after the previous load or new game. They've also fixed a crash to desktop when running the simulation after placing creatures with add object menu, and another crash to desktop when hovering above missing tree asset or clicking missing spawnable building assets. And a final crash to desktop occurring after performing certain actions and then relocating the building. They've also fixed cargo vehicles, sometimes spawning in the middle of the cargo building. Cargo vehicles very rarely use more than the first 2 loading bays in cargo terminals. The buffer stops appearing on train outside connections, fixed for new connections. These service vehicles sometimes despawn after completing tasks, potentially affects fire engines, police cars, maintenance vehicles, ambulances, hearses, and taxis. Vehicles stopping or slowing down at the wrong location when multiple vehicles are queuing to turn from a road into a building lot. First-person camera height on Tampere and San Francisco maps. Height restriction now has a minimum of 4096 on maps with lower height scale. The pause menu save game notification having a visible string ID after save is complete. Dead tree leaf colors to be brown. The line color modifications only updating for one part of the multi-car vehicles until hovered with the mouse. They've also fixed garbage trucks, road maintenance vehicles, and post vans using bus stop bays for driving through. They've also fixed the flickering collision icon with placing a moving transport stop at the border between continuous road segments. several floating trees and props on buildings, UI breaking if there's a chirp with missing brand prefab, endless siren for the early disaster warning system, notifications staying in the original place after relocating a building, water and sewage capacity notifications not working, the tornado event disappearing properly after being dismissed, blocking the game from starting another tornado, piles on building lots, certain types of warehouses, coal power plants, recycling center displaying the wrong resource type and amount current stored, issues with some states getting stuck with almost all tools if mouse press and release happen during the same frame, intersection node icon to be the correct one, an issue where it was possible to delete keyframes in 2 curve editors at the same time. Now when clicking outside of an editor, it will defocus keyframes in that editor, the pause button not working in cinematic camera, several issues when using a controller, and they have finally fixed changing either menu music volume or radio volume after going back to the main menu causes the radio music to play. And that's it. That's the patch for today, for the 25th of March, with all the DLC. What do you think about the patch? What do you think about the DLC? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video and found it helpful and like to see more content like this one, make sure you are subscribed. I also make other content surrounding racing and simulation. And if that interests you, stick around and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.